Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast with your host, Brett Bovin. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Bovin. Yeah, Brett Bovin. Anyways, it's November 17th, Sunday, November 17th, 2024. We're a couple days into the gun season here in Michigan. I know out in New York, we got the Squatch. He's from New York. I believe they started yesterday, but he can quote me on that differently. If this is the first time tuning into the show, thank you for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the show, we do a live show on Sunday and Tuesday, but because it's the hunting season, we took away the Tuesday slot and we're only doing the Sundays so we can focus on more time with our families and focus on the hunt and the grind and being out in the woods. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comment section and we'll pop them up during the screen. We also have a saying on the show, put your cord in a slot machine. I strongly believe hunting is a dying sport. It's a dying lifestyle. So all we ask out there from everyone out there is help share the show. It's all we ask. Help us get one new friend and help us share this amazing feeling of hunting and camaraderie with friends and family. And it's an amazing feeling. On tonight's show, we do have a subscriber goal to 215. We said that on a couple of shows so far. Would like to get to 215, and then hopefully we can stop saying that goal and get to a different goal number. So, but anyways, for tonight's show, we have the team on, the Squatch, Johnny and David. So I'm looking forward to getting them on. Tonight we're gonna be talking about hunting the rut and just the rut in general. And this topic, I know it's gonna get very heated tonight. Gun versus archeries. So I'm all about hunting with a bow. I'll never hunt with a gun. The day I pick up a crossbow is the day I physically cannot draw back a bow. We'll get more into that and how I personally feel about that stuff in general. Make sure to check out our website, whitetailadvantage.com. We are constantly updating that with a bunch of information, so feel free to check that out. We do have some news. We're going to be selling some merch soon. We have some t-shirts going to be coming out soon. Looking forward to that. Make sure to check out Grizz Media as well. Check out Magnus Broadheads and Rec Broadheads as well. If you use the code WA15 at Rec Broadheads, you can get discount off their products. Make sure to use the code GP10 at Gillypuck. You can get 10% discount off their products as well. Also, check out our Patreon. We just started a couple weeks ago, but we're going to be doing a lot more things with that here in the future. So make sure to stay tuned with that. With that being said, we all know I can't stand doing intros, so let's just end me jibber-jabbering and bring on the guys. What is up, fellas?
What up?
What is happening?
Hi.
Yo, jibber-jabber.
Bros before hoes.
That's
Fucking
right. That's right. And
David
according to
down there.
Brett, goes before guns.
What's that? I don't know what you said. Anyways,
Goes before guns.
okay, that's a good one. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. The other three thought it was funny. I mean,
Yeah, it's okay. And fucking David down there looking like he's at a college frat party.
I'm at strip club right now.
Here, Brett, I got something for you. I'll mail it out to you. I'll mail it out to you. I'll mail it out to you.
For people listening to the audio version of this, he's showing a crossbow. Hey, Squatch, does that come with a pack of tampons?
Only if you need them.
If you tie them together, they make nunchucks.
You know, I know you're kind of like a crippled dick with shit, so you might cut yourself on a broadhead trying to load this thing up, but you know, if you go to the fucking dark side maybe once in a while and point this thing right out your truck window, you might like do some real good. You know?
Yeah. No, I'm a real hunter, so
I even look, it's even got a lighted knock.
It's so cute.
hey,
This
you
way.
know, Squatch, I've got some napalm bolts I can send you.
Oh, I can get them from my buddy Gerald there at Warhead also, and
right,
Jason.
right there.
Yeah, we're all in the same. This thing came with them, so I just fling them at shit, and I didn't take it out at all this year. I didn't use it either. Brett kind of
I'm sure it's a lot of fun to shoot. Don't get me wrong.
Brett
but
shaved me into it. He said, "Don't use that. You're just a sissy."
Well, guys, before we get into tonight's show, really dig deep into the rut and guns and bows and shit like that, I have a funny story for you guys. I know you guys will get a kick out of this. So I'm at the store earlier today with my daughter. I'm walking down the aisle, and this person basically walks right next to me. I'm going to assume it's a dude, and it's this guy with eyeliner and black shadow stuff around their eyes, and he was wearing those cat like things, like cat things on your head for like Halloween costume type shit. And I swear, I didn't think I yelled it. I didn't do that, but I whispered like underneath my breath. I was like, "What the fuck are you?" It gets better. He looks back at me. I was, excuse me, sir. What did you just say? I said to him, what the fuck are you? He says, I identify as a cat, sir. I said, that's good for you. Woof, woof. And I walked away.
Nice.
Was that at Myers?
That was at Myers.
You should be like, well, Myers only allows service animals in here. So,
yeah, you're going to have to leave.
Well, so we all know I can't stand like TikTok and shit, but my wife, she sent me this video. It was this lady who says her son identifies as a cat. I thought it was ironic, and she sends her son to the vet to get looked at, and the vet was like, I can't look at this kid because he's a human being. I only work on animals. And she said, well, he identifies as a cat. And she's like, well, I'm not going to sue. I'm not going to press charges and stuff like that. I'm like, how the fuck are you going to do that? It's a human being.
Huh.
Just was like, I wanted to throw the phone against the wall. Just like,
I got something that takes care of kitties right here. See that? Come here, little kitty.
Audio version. He's holding up a bow.
Kick these fucking parents.
That's not just a bow. This is a Matthew Z3.
That's just a bow.
No,
I'm sorry. That's amazing.
It's a killing machine. It's a killing machine.
We have a comment here. Broadside Ambush Frank. My boys, what is up?
What's going on, brother?
What's up, Frank?
All right, so we got Frankie on here.
Congrats.
Frankie smoked a nice 6-pointer in his property up in upstate New York. He's a Jersey guy, but he's got property up in New York. And guys, I'm going to tell you something right now. That dude, he gets it done. And, it's a family thing. He's got his uncle up there, and his uncle is a freaking trip. You guys met him. His Uncle Angelo. Great guy, man. Great guy. And, it's a good Italian family, and they like to hang out and have fun. And I'm going to get up there and join the party sometime. And hopefully we'll all get to sit around the old campfire up there too. But Frankie, congratulations. Squatch is always proud of you, my brother. Good job.
For sure, brother. Good job. Put that 270 to use.
Good job, Frank.
I got you better. Good job, Frank.
All right. The rut. Let's start off with the rut. Yep. My personal feelings about hunting the rut. We're talking about more how to hunt the rut and funnels and shit like that. I swear, if we're gonna have another episode,
who's that phone?
Who's
that phone?
That one was me. I'm sorry.
I will fuck your shit up.
Dude, my Tinder's going wild right now.
Listen, 50 push-ups.
He means grinder, everybody, not Tinder.
Tomato.
Frank here. Hell yeah, let's do it. And thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And for everyone listening, we had Frank on last show. We're going to have Frank and Mike from Boondocks for the Garner State podcast. We're going to have them come on December 15th, I believe. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to talking to them.
Gotta have his uncle on, man.
Oh,
dude.
man. That guy is a freaking riot, dude.
I couldn't stop freaking laughing, man. I'm like, wow.
He's a riot. He's a
I
freaking
just gotta
riot.
go hang out with him. I don't even care if we hunt.
Dude.
It's gonna have to be like before 5 though.
He's like 16 cups of coffee and like, you know, like extra freaking like high octane mode. He's like 73 or 4 or something. He's a freaking wild man. He drinks vino and goes out deer hunting. I love it. It's fucking great.
All right. Talking about the rut here.
What, like we're in a rut? We're all in a rut.
What? The deer rut. The rut. Deer rut. Personal feeling, personal opinions about the rut. I'll go first. I have mixed feelings with the rut. And what I mean by that is I have a love-hate relationship with it because you just never know what you're going to get. And yes, that brings out the excitement with it. And yes, that means they're moving more and shit like that. But if one of your target bucks that you're like, ooh, I've been getting photos of him, or like, I really want to get that one, he can get locked down on a doe easily, and you'll never see him till the fucking December, maybe.
Yeah, or if ever. He might just move right off the property.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know, like if a deer is, say this mature buck of yours is on a doe and locked down with her, he could go fucking miles. The next thing you know, he found his new home area, new core range, shit like that, and you'll never see him again. So as I said, I have a love-hate relationship with it, and you'll just, like I said, you're just never going to know what you're going to get with it. What do you guys think?
Well,
it's a fact.
I'll tell you, in years past, the rut, I don't know what it is with this year. I've was talking to my wife about it actually, and I've done really, really well with like getting on the bucks this year, and has a little bit to do with having so many cameras out. I feel, you know, the Moultries are working hard, and I don't know. So I can't speak for everybody, but my bucks, when they lock down a doe, don't go far. They keep a doe in about a half-acre lot, basically. And yes, they will not allow her to run wild. They will keep her pinned down. I've watched a buck like cut her off 15, 16 times in one area, and that I'm okay with that, because he's not running around and, you know, not knowing where he is, and gun season starts and he's taking a hailfire of freaking bullets at him. So I'm okay with that. But the rut has really driven me crazy in the years past, because you used to pattern a deer and he's not following those patterns. But this year has been really different for me. I've been on, at this property, 8 different bucks, and not one of them is smaller than an 8. And it's like, okay, where did he go? Like, I'm after Clyde. You guys know Clyde. Clyde's like, he's my homeboy, and he's a big boy, and sometimes he's there like 3 or 4 days at a time, and then he disappears. So I don't know where the hell he's going. I'm still trying to figure him out. I ran into Mr. Perfect Broken Rack today. I know where he's bedding now, and been other deer and stuff. And I shot that 8 the other day with my bow, the last day of bow season. So, you know, I'm on them. I'm seeing, and I'm in the same stand. I'm not even changing. I did hunt a different stand a couple of times, and I saw a buck out of that stand also. But what I call my middle stand has been very, very hot. And it's because I'm in the doe's bedrooms. I'm where they sleep. And, you know, I shot my buck at 11 o'clock the other morning. That's late. And he was cruising. He was coming through their bedroom looking for some hot does in there. And I was willing to sit all day because it was the last day of bow season. And I'm like, yo, I got to put something to the ground here. And, you know, he came by, 8 points on his head. You know, he's not a monster, but I said, you know what? Gun season starts tomorrow. Some guy, I'll just blast him anyway. So why not put the meat on my table and use my tag? So
Yep.
I drew back at 10 yards on him and took his heart clean out. And he went 20 yards and died, man. So I was really happy that the wreck broadhead did its job. And, it's like I said, the rut can be finicky. It's all your doe to buck ratio that depicts what's going to go on with your situational stuff, competitions of the bucks that are in your area. So everybody's rut is going to be different. And, the shit about it's hot, it's cold, deer don't care. They're going to breed. It may slow down travel, but, when you're horny, you're horny. Let's just put it that way. And a buck is the same damn way. It don't matter, what the weather is. They're gonna breed. And the other thing too is, like I told you guys back in October, we got a cold snap and we had the full moon rising. And my cameras in this place went freaking off the wall, man. And I was like, I got to hunt the next day. And I seen a lot of buck activity, and that was the start of the rut. They were just starting to bump. Now, when this full moon came up, I was like, you know what? I said, I got to get my ass in that tree. And that was Friday. I banged in. I told my boss, I said, my cameras are getting hot. I'm not coming in, man. And it paid off. 11 o'clock, that buck came through, and I let him have it. So the rut's been very good to me this year. I've seen a lot of deer, and I feel it's different for everybody. I feel it's different for people who have different terrain. The thing that I'm very lucky to have on my side is it's old orchard. It's all overgrown thickets. There's not a lot of leaves. So basically, when I walk in, I'm not making any noise. I'm sneaking in. I'm spraying scent down, rack getter scents, hot to trot, and I mean, man, I watched that stuff pull a buck right off a doe that he was chasing. Swear to God, I mean, I was like, wow, man, Gerard makes some good ass sense, but I didn't think they'd take a freaking buck and put him right in front of me off a live doe. I was like totally taken back. So that's rack getter sense, man. They're really good. I've been using this stuff for fishing, and I've been using stuff. I'm no book of knowledge, man. I'm just an average joker.
A mad comic book.
Broadside Ambush, Frank.
Yeah.
Brother Squatch is a book of knowledge. Yeah, he is.
But
well, congratulations though on Squatch on your success with that.
Yeah, thanks.
David, I wanted to ask you with the rut up there you're kind of more the northern part of Michigan, more in the deep timber of kind of like pines and stuff like that. And you got a different terrain, in my opinion, with landscape wise. What is your opinion when it comes to rut, when you're seeing things happen and how they're manipulating like trees and bushes and the regular type of hills and shit like that? You muted yourself, dumbass.
It's working good.
I can't listen, you because you muted yourself. I wish I had like that ding dong, ding dong, ding dong thing.
Dave, just move your mouth and I'll do something coming out of it. All right, I'm David Heath.
David, you're gonna see yourself down the bottom. Click on the microphone part of your little screen.
Yeah, it shows you're muted.
There we go.
Try
talking.
No, it was my mic disconnected for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, both the spots I hunt are totally different from each other. Like the one spot behind my buddy's house, it's swamp. So I actually pulled all my trail cams out, probably like a week and a half ago.
Okay.
They're starting to get me to chase my tail a little bit, so I just yanked them. And then I started seeing more deer because the swamp where they're bedding at for the does, I pretty much sticking to that because it always works. I've seen a lot of deer. I seen one okay buck there last weekend.
What's your overall opinion with the rut? Love it, hate it, take or leave it?
I love it, but I hate it at the same time, just for the fact that you sit all day. You have an opportunity to see a buck traveling, a big mature buck that isn't on your property, you know, and Squatch can attest. He's had this happen. Buck that's wasn't even in his area all of a sudden showed up.
Oh yeah, a couple already.
Yeah, the ones that you saw that were new.
Yeah.
But then again, it goes to that. You can sit all day and not see anything. Or see some, you know, you'll see deer, but it's nothing that you want to shoot.
Right.
You know, it's really hit or miss up north right now. I've been finding, well, this weekend, the deer activity's totally changed. Since the gauntlet has started World War III.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
The deer travel has totally shut down. A lot of them are traveling at night now. Like today, I mean, I probably seen 20 some, but they were all running like 150 miles an hour, you know, and I had my bow. So
that's the problem. I've been bring my gun here myself is all the deer have been coming at night. And what was it? I think November 11th, I think it was the first time I actually saw a mature giant buck. If I scored him right off the hoof, it was quick because he was kept moving and I was trying to draw him in. He could have easily scored 150, but I was the only buck that I seen actually all season long out in daylight. Everything's been coming out at night and it's been pissing me off. And I think a lot of hunters this year are having, at least here in Michigan, or at least in this area that I know, are having a lot of trouble this year. It's very hard. It's a very difficult season right now. I think EHD on top of it all. And it's just been very warm. It hasn't been, weather's been very uncooperative, if you want to use that word.
Very much.
And it's been really fucking weird. John, I know you hunt a lot of public land. How are you feeling this year with your overall hunt, your season, I mean, and what's your overall opinion when it comes to the rut?
I feel like when I'm in the tree 30 feet up, I just want to like cut the tether from my stand and just like fall. So starting in October, all the EHD that's hit my area, dude, all of my bucks are gone.
You had some nice ones too.
Yeah, I had some beautiful. I mean, in August, they were scoring probably 140s, 150s, just beautiful bucks. Gone, done. The bucks I have seen, you know, 2-year-old 8-point, maybe score 90. I mean, there's just nothing. So I changed it up. I hunted the next county up on private, and I've seen a few there. The does they're running a little bit there, but it's just where I'm hunting. I love hunting the rut just because you don't know what you're going to see. Like you guys were talking about, you can get that buck off of someone else's property that comes over that you've never seen before, and you're like, oh man, hell yeah. But it sucks where I'm hunting, man. There's no doubt about it. If I wouldn't have tagged out or shot that buck earlier during the Liberty hunt, I probably wouldn't have had one. I mean, there's just nothing where I'm hunting. I have to change it up. I've got to find a new area, go up north, go down south somewhere. But where I'm at
this weekend, brother.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. I've been shopping online, man. I'm like, do I want 350, 450, that 390 buck, or was it? Yeah, 390 buck hammer or something like that.
360 buck hammer.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a cool round, man.
Then
all we have to do is cross the Nuevo borderline, man, and it's rifle season, brother.
Dude, Apple Avenue. That's it.
Yep.
I'm not invited because they hate me. So
you don't like guns.
True that.
But yeah, it's going from such an emotional roller coaster all season, like spring into summer, starting into the fall season. I'm it's going up, and I'm seeing all these deer, and I'm seeing deer all the time. And then right when the temperature is supposed to get cooler into October, you see less and less deer. And then all of a sudden you're going 7, 8, 9, 10 days without no deer on your camera, where you've had them every single day.
Yep.
And you're just, it's frustrating, man. It really is.
It is. And granted, lately, in my opinion, the first week of October, kind of into the second week of October, it's still 80, 70. You might get a 65 for a couple of days here and there. So I've kind of anticipated that as kind of like the norm now, in my opinion. But after that second week of October, I'm like, all right, it's got to be a high of 55, 60 on a normal, consistent basis. And it hasn't been like that. I mean, heck, here in the next 2 days, I saw on the weather, it's high of 65.
Yeah, again.
Are you kidding me?
My buddy sent me a picture from his Facebook or whatever. It was 5 years ago. So when we had that winter storm hit, and we had like 3 feet of snow on the ground. Man, I remember growing up, November 15th, there's you were guaranteed snow on the ground.
Yeah.
We haven't had snow in November in fucking years, it seems like.
We haven't had snow on Christmas in the last like 5 years.
No.
Like I said, last year on Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas or Christmas, whatever, it was like 65 and muddy. And I got people sending me photos of them out walking the golf course, playing around in golf. I'm like, what the heck? I used to be a kid waking up in the morning, ooh, snow. And my dad would do the Santa Claus footprints in the snow and shit like that. And now it's like, ooh, let's go play in the mud.
I know.
Like, what
we had an opening day at Rifle. I had to cut that day before. We had an ice storm. There was over an inch of ice on the trees and stuff. I remember going in with saws. My cousin and I had to cut our paths in to get in because all the trees were bowed down. And I'm like, dude, I ain't missing Rifle, man. And he's like, nah. He's like, we got to do something. And I'm like, well, get on the damn wheel or let's go. And the next morning was opening day. When we got in, he was like, I can't go up my tree. I said, I'm up. He's like, aren't you slipping on the ice? I'm like, yeah, I busted the shit out of it. And I got up here, but man, it was scary as hell, man. And
It's sketchy.
But we shot deer. I didn't give a shit. We still hunted. We killed deer the next day. But I mean, that's when you got winters and stuff. I mean, we had to cut our damn way into the woods. Otherwise, we couldn't even went out. We had ice and stuff so bad. But now it's like anymore, the climate's just so screwed up.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, to get off tangent here real quick, but I got to tell you, talk about funny things. I'm sitting there in the stand the other morning, Friday morning, and I just sat down and got situated. And this blue hue came over the top of me. And I'm like, what in God's great creation is this? And I thought it was the angels coming down. I said, man, if I hear trumpets, it's all done. We're going. And I realized finally what it was. It was SpaceX. And it was you see them ball lights that Dave's got going up behind him in a straight line? When they turn blue and white like that, that's exactly what it looked like. And it was super long. And man, it freaked me out when I saw it sitting there at 4:30 in the morning. I said, holy cow. If you ever get the experience seeing that, it's awesome, man. You'll love it.
We had it here.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's really
My wife
cool.
sent me a picture of it, and I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, it's cool as hell. It was so neat to just sit there and watch that go off into the horizon. And it went like due east for me. It was really cool, but it has nothing to do with the rut. But
I saw that taking my dog out one time. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I ran. I was like, the end of the world is happening.
Yeah.
Aliens are coming.
Yeah.
Well, I remember last year I was driving to my buddy's house and I asked my wife, like, hey, look up at the sky out to the west. She goes, yeah, I see a bunch of like stars in a line.
Yeah.
And this was like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one fucking seeing this. What the fuck's going on? And I think Squatch is the one that told me, yeah, it was SpaceX. Or like Elon Musk shit. I'm like, or it was like there are satellites and stuff. And I'm like,
yeah,
what the heck? I didn't know that. And apparently it's been going on for a while.
Yep.
That's the first time.
It's wild, man. It's so cool to watch that thing go through the sky. It's like It's like you're watching freaking Star Wars or something, man. You know, I mean, I'm probably dating myself, Star Wars, but yeah, it's Star Wars, man. It was
Hey,
like
I've seen that
it was
movie.
just going and going and going. You know, like in a galaxy far, far away. It was like that. It's just like something just keeps going down.
Dude,
And
Star Wars is awesome.
What's
That's
crazy
cool.
is to think about how many miles long that thing is up in
I don't
space,
even know.
circling the Earth.
It's got to be huge because it cleared.
It's like that far,
Like,
from what we can see.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it took a while to get to the horizon, but whew, man, really cool. Something. I mean, I've seen shooting stars. I've seen some weird stuff in my day, but man, I'll tell you what, seeing that go through the sky, that was amazing.
I'll go around the table here, but start off Squatch.
Yeah.
How are you hunting the rut?
I'm going into their bedding areas. I hunt their bedding areas, and I don't move.
Whose bedding areas? Bucks or does?
No, the does. I stay right next to the does. My does don't ever leave here. I've got a real good high population of doe structure, and man, I'm right in their freaking bedrooms. I mean, the thickest of the thick.
Well, let me ask you this. Don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
how do you know which one's a doe bedding area compared to a buck bedding area?
Just by visually putting cameras up, seeing the movement, and watching it for a bunch of years. Today I did find a buck's bedding area, and he was by himself. Believe it or not, there was a doe bedded to the east of him about another 150 feet. I kicked her up, but those bedding areas where I am, they're super duper hot, man. And I'm telling you, I'll beat them in there because my cameras are out near the outskirts. You got to understand, this is an old, thick apple orchard that's 58 acres. That's just was let go for years. And I blasted trails all through there with my equipment. And I make lanes in there. I make fields. So, and then I strategically place my stands in there where I want to be. And then the cameras are all on the outskirts from the good orchards. So when they're out at night, I watch them travel out to the good orchard because they like go out there and play around and eat. And then about 4:30ish, 5 o'clock, they're on their way back into the thickets. And they'll mull around in there and feed a little bit more, and then they'll find a place to bed and they lay down. So what those bucks do is use my lanes because it's quick movement for them. And all of a sudden you'll see them dart in and they'll go on those runs that are in those thickets. They're like, some of them I make are like maybe 35, 40 yards wide. And a doe is laying down in there, and all of a sudden she'll bound up, and you'll hear him brat, 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 and you'll see him chasing and chasing. And I mean, it was textbook the other morning, man. I mean, 11 o'clock. I thought it was a squirrel messing around by me down the end of the path, and here he comes booking around the turn. And I was like, "Yep, pick your bow up, stupid." Pick the bow up, and he was in front of me with I didn't even have time to put the camera on. I wanted to get footage of it, but I was like, I'm a hunter. I'm not a damn camera guy. I'll get more footage sooner or later. But I needed a deer, man. I just I got to shoot something. So but no, it's those bedding areas. Follow those does. If I took my hardwood tactics to you, I'd tell you the same thing. If you've got big open woods, find the briar thickets, find swamps, like especially Dave was saying he hunts swamps. I came from swamps where I grew up, and I would find an island that popped up in the middle of a swamp, and I would take where they transect at like 3 or 4 heavy intersections where they come in, and I'd get my ass up on that island up high in a tree and be above their noses. And I had a stand down there. I used to call it a nosebleed stand because it was 35 steps high. And man, I killed so many deer out of that spot. I love that old swamp, but I don't go there anymore. It's my cousin owns it now, but yeah, swamps are phenomenal, man. But like I said, if you can find the does with the rut, wherever you're hunting, mountains, if you're hunting thickets, heavy, thick brush area. But I'm telling you, man, especially now with gun season, if you can sit your butt down on the ground and you can get a shot maybe 20 yards with the rifle, it's the thickest of the thick. Put your ass there and sit still, because you will kill a buck looking for those does coming through them thickets. If the does are there, the bucks are going to follow. And it's funny too, because my family groups are does. I'll be like, there's 3 of them together. They're not hot. And all of a sudden there's 2 over here and that buck's chasing the 1 out of that 2. But the week after, now he's after the 3 or he's after the group of 4. And I watch him. He varies. So I have to move myself according to where those does are bedding, if that's going to answer your question too. It's a game. You got to observe. The more time you can get in the woods, the more cameras you can get out, I feel will help you produce yourself. And the other thing is, lay down scent. Find a good quality scent that works for you. Spray that down on your boot pads or whatever. I just take the squirt bottle, and as I walk, I go like 3 squirts on a leaf, and I keep going. And boy, I'm telling you, they'll freaking bloodhound it right to you, man. I mean, but find the thick stuff. The thicker the cover when the rut's going on, the more success you'll have, and just sit by it and stay by it.
They'll get pushed there.
Yeah. David, how are you hunting the rut? What are you looking for? What's the primary?
I hunt swamp predominantly. I do pretty close to what Squatch does. They're the 2 separate properties. There is no swamp, but there's probably a half a dozen old apple trees, and we just let it overgrow. It's got tall grass, probably 10 foot tall, and that's where the does bed. And you can actually watch them in the middle of the night because it's a big acreage and it's all fields. So you can actually see them go in and out. You can watch them just in and out, in and out, in and out. Now the other spot where it has the swamp, we've hunted that for a long time. And it's long and narrow. It's probably half a mile long, but it's only maybe 100 yards wide. But it's got all super thick cattails. You can't even see inside of it. And it's got buckbrush and the briars all along the edges. And that's where they'll come up right behind. That's where their travel has been. Every time I see them, they're traveling behind. And like this morning, or was it this morning? No, it was yesterday. When I said I had the 2 gay bucks fighting in the briars. I couldn't even see them, but it sounded like World War III going on. And I knew that it was 2 bucks after you could hear the antlers, but the does, there's like 4 or 5 does just took off like a bat out of hell. They got the hell out of there. And then whoever won, I don't know, but you could hear him down in the cattail snorting. Yeah. And then he took off. I never seen him after that, but because I pulled my trail cams out because I knew that's where they were. So for me, it was pointless to have my trail cams there once I figured that the rut was there, and the property line doesn't go all the way through the swamp. So I only have probably 70 yards of the swamp I can hunt the long ways. So if they're not within that area, there's no point for trail cams, but I can see them for a long ways.
Now, are we putting the trail cameras? What are we looking here? See your Squatch.
Trying to get it so you can see it, but I'm trying to show you the terrain. You see how thick that is in there?
Yeah,
that deer is in a path that I mowed through there, and I sit between a path there and a path in front of me. But that gives you an idea how thick it is where I'm hunting.
Yeah, so
that's the listener right here. He's holding up very thick briar bush area. And David here is holding up like a lot of thick tree cover and a lot of that grassy, plainy type stuff in between.
That's to my right, and then the swamp is back in there. But this is what it looks like behind me. Let me see if I can get it. It's hardwoods, and then probably like 40 yards in, it's basically impenetrable.
Yeah.
But you can see the trails from up high. I mean, it's like motorcycle trails. They just cross all over.
Yeah.
And,
John, what are you looking for good rut activity and trying to get your best chances of getting a mature buck out of the rut?
So where I'm hunting right now, it's mostly I have doe bedding to the east of where I am. I'm hunting on this basically a main trail that runs right through into a water source. So I've seen a lot of bucks running through there. Nothing too crazy as of yet, but I'm hunting right in between basically the 2 bedding areas. And dude, I I've had a shit season. The EHD has just destroyed the deer here. So what little deer I have seen, it's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm hunting in between bedding areas, and honestly, like I saw that double point brow tine buck that I shot was 2 weeks ago, maybe. I'm hunting in between bedding areas and maybe 20 yards off of a main road. I mean, like it's such an oddball, small little area, but it's the only wooded lot around. And
Yeah.
I've seen deer there. I've seen plenty of does, some decent bucks, but I'm limited to where I can hunt, and that little I've seen some pretty decent ones out of there. I just need to have more time, sit more, and find new areas, man.
That's the thing is learning the property or learning the area that you want to hunt. And then if you're like extremely confident in one area, it's going to take time to realize what the deer are moving through. And it took me a lot of years to finalize what these deer are actually doing, how they're moving, where they're moving from, and where they're going to, and such like that. On the south side of the property where I hunt, a lot of the deer are moving from generally the south or the east, whatever you call it, and they're heading west towards a lot of this brushy, briar, thick area. So they're heading straight to that because that's where I know a lot of the does bed. So they have to pass through me to get to them. There's another spot in another area. I was like, a lot of open but thick, grassy type places where a buck would love to bed. There's 2 little places, and they come from that, and they come down this little valley. And I put a trail camera down there. I was like, I think there's going to be something down there. Next thing I know, I've been seeing bucks left and right, and good mature ones. Granted, they all been at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, but I know, for instance, they're coming from there. So I can put a stand there. I'm like, all right, they're going to be generally coming from the northwest. So I got to figure that spot out more. But hunting the rut, I think it's, like I said, it's a very challenging but interesting thing because you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, heck, November 9th at 6 o'clock in the morning, I see this deer on the camera, and I'm like, I'm literally changing while he's out there next to my stand. And I was like, what the fuck is this deer? And it was a giant 9-pointer. I was like, holy fuck, I've never seen this deer before. But I nicknamed him Sun Devil because his left side or right side looked like the Arizona State Sun Devil.
Oh yeah.
Logo. And I was like, yep, I'm gonna name him Sun Devil. Just it came to me that quick, and I was like, oh, he's beautiful. Never seen him again. I haven't, even though it's been like a week, but it's challenging, but it's fun. It's all depending on how you know the terrain, where you know the deer are bedding and stuff like that. I know a couple of years ago, I shot a deer during the rut. He was fresh on a doe. She was a yearling, and she was hot, and 4 bucks, including the deer that I shot, was just hot on her ass. So it can be good, but also can be bad at the same time as well. Cause you just don't know. You like I believe David said it. You can just sit all fucking day long and not see shit. So
yeah, but if you're not there,
you can't kill them from your couch.
And that big booner walks out in front of your stand, and you're like Squatch. Every time he was not there, Big Buck was in front of his stand.
No,
and I'm like,
I
hey,
was in,
what the hell?
was in
These deer
fucking Ohio. I'm
fucking with them.
10 hours away in Ohio, and I got fucking champion bucks running around in my damn
they're walking
backyard.
by his trail cams.
But hey, you know what? It was a good experience, and you got a chance to shoot a booner down in Ohio. You know, it was all good. You know, like I said, but it's a bitch when you ain't seeing nothing down there, and your home is just going nuts with bucks. But you know, it's like I said again, having the cameras are key, you know, and I run all cellular. I don't have any SD cards. These cameras don't even have SD cards in them. They're all like, you know, the Apple, the cloud thing. But I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, when you can't be there, it's good to have them on your runs, have them there. It helps you because usually a buck, even if he's new to the area, he's going to hang in there for about 3 or 4 days, perusing that area and seeing who's there. And my buck I called Mr. Perfect since May. He tangled with Drop Tine, and Drop Tine kicked his ass. He's all broke off now. And but I was able to see the change. And I thought it was another deer from another area until I really looked close, and I was like, no, that was Mr. Perfect. He got in a fight with that big buck that came in there. So it's not only helping you as far as movement, times of movement, when a buck daylights finally, but it's also inventory. It's letting you know, it like a filing card system, that this buck is here, that buck is there. And the 8-pointer that I shot with the bow the other day on Friday, he was an intruder. He didn't belong in my woods. He was new there, and I had to take him out. He didn't belong in there with my boys, so I didn't want him, doing stuff he shouldn't be doing in there. That's really why I shot him. But
you want the high quality breeding.
yeah. I want the good stuff in there.
But I'd say this to that point, Squatch, and we'll get into guns versus archery. Is I have cell cams, and I grew up buying SD cameras because that's all I could afford. I couldn't afford a plan because I didn't have a job.
Right.
So I bought like 6 of them, and I put them out there in areas. And now I use them because now I have a job. I have a grown-up job. I can afford shit. And now that Trump's in office, I can actually afford more shit.
Amen to that.
Right?
Amen to that.
I don't have. I'll say this: my wife, she went to the store the other day, and she bought a shit ton of stuff, and it was like $50. I'm like, yay, we can finally afford stuff. Thank you, Trump. And you're not even fully in the office yet.
Yeah, we got to get him on the show.
We do. Anyways, Squatch, I used my SD cameras now that I have because I'm just going to throw them away.
Yeah.
I put those on like a lot of the main paths of the property, so that way I'll walk out in the property. That way my scent still gets out there, and the deer are getting used to me. I use those as inventory type things.
Yep.
And I put the cell cams in good thick areas where I don't want my scent necessarily to be there as much. And so that way I can see where they're moving to and get better pattern type deal from the deer and see what's happening better from them. And it's that way I'm kind of like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone type of thing. I might miss one on the cell cam, but I might pick them up on the regular trail that I wouldn't expect it.
Right.
So that's how I'm using mine.
Yeah, I still use the regular ones.
Mm-hmm.
I stick my regular. I just had the cheap wild games. I got probably 4 or 5 of them, but I run them all year, mostly in the spring. I leave them out all year, and just to kind of get an idea, late winter after season's over, kind of what's still, what made it through the season, what hasn't, what's still in the area, and the areas during the rut that I don't go into during early season. I'll pull those SD cards when it gets kind of end of October ish, and see what's kind of been moving in and out that way. But yeah, I run mostly cellular I've been running solar on a few of mine.
Me too.
Just so I can leave them and I don't ever have to go in and change batteries or nothing and stink up the place,
I leave the SD ones out. I leave them out year round. I might move them here and there, but I turn them off. I turn those off along with my cell plans generally around the end of January, the beginning of February. That way I get like an inventory of, like you said, David, what made it through, what's kind of stuck around maybe, and what I can have my hopes for going into the new season. Then once that February comes around, I'm basically, all right, turn them off, turn the plans off, and I'll kick them back up around June or July once the velvet kind of starts kicking in, so I can kind of get a better idea of what is what, because you're going to get a million photos of wind and shit like that and squirrels, and you're just going to get a million photos of them growing their antlers, which is great. I want to see what they're like in June and July. I'm like, all right, now I'm game plan. Let's kick in. Let's see who stuck around.
One of the key factors to leaving them out is fawns being born. What time of the springtime they're born, and I'm not taking credit for this because I learned it from Reaper, Whitetail 101, Brandon Barlow. We should get him on the show, by the way. You count back, I believe it's 209 days from when you see a fawn drop, basically, tiny, wobbly, barely able to walk, and that'll dictate when that doe was bred. So now if that doe is in that area where you are and you know her, let's say she's got a feature or something with her hide or I don't know, looks. It's kind of hard to tell them sometimes, but if you could pinpoint that doe, then you know, okay, I know that doe's an October hot doe, so I got to be by her next year in October, like the 1st through the 15th. I gotta hover around her because her estrus cycle is going to dictate she's coming into her cycle, and the buck is going to pick up on that.
Yep.
And I've saw that. That's already happened here in October. Okay. Now, with this November rut in, this is actually for me as I'm witnessing it.
It's okay. Words are hard.
Yeah, words are hard, especially when you get old like me. The deer are on their second, I believe here where I live, right here, they're on their second breeding.
So you have multiple ruts there, you think?
Oh, I have at least 3 and maybe even sometimes 4 because I've seen little peanut fawns when I'm bow hunting in October.
Really?
Oh yeah, a lot. I've seen them over the years. I remember one year I'm like, what the hell? I thought it was one of them axis deer or something. I'm like, why does this deer have all these spots on it? And it was tiny, little buskadooby, right? And I said, man, it's not right. But it was a late, probably January when the rut kicked in for that doe. And I'll be honest with you, I saw Clyde mount a doe on my camera back in May. It was May or June. I think it was June, with his tail cupped. When their tails are cupped, they have an erection. Okay. So they're trying to mate, and that's in July. So
that's weird.
Did the doe have a weird, freaky cycle that made him go attack her? Or is it just, something that he's just doing? But I mean, he was literally, I can show you the video. He was literally like pushing her down. He was on top of her.
Yeah.
And his tail was cupped. Yeah. I mean, it was full blown deer rape out in the woods. It was going on. And I was
head down, ass up, baby.
Yeah, I was like, boy, I got some redneck fucking deer where I'm living, man. They're like, you're gonna put out now, Yeah, call this number if you want to talk to the Squatch about his mental disabilities.
Yeah,
anyone out there listening, deer porn that I see.
I have to step away real fast. I'll be right back, guys.
All right, thanks for coming in.
Yep. No, I've seen the same thing.
Phone numbers on the screen right there. Feel free and talk to us about how your season's going, about the rut. Let's dive into the gun and archery debate here. I want to start off by saying, and I'm not afraid to say it, I think guns, you're hunting with a gun. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to say this. You're out there hunting, great, awesome, love it. But if you got to do it with a gun and to shoot one of your giant deer that you're quote unquote after, pussy. Get it done with a bow. You don't get it done with a bow. Like that's my opinion. That's how I see it. As I have October 1st to November 14th. If I don't get it done with a bow, I'm praying that they make it through the gun season. That way I get another chance at them. If someone else gets one, great. I'm going to be just happy for them. Don't get me wrong. But I just wanted another opportunity to getting them. Granted, I can still hunt here in Michigan. You still hunt during the rifle with the bow. But where I hunt, I just back away because they have a lot of gun hunters out on the property. So I just walk away. But yeah, I think if you got to get it done with a bow, ooh, a gun. Yeah, I shot the deer 300 yards away. Great. Awesome. Good job. Don't get me wrong. Great job. But you're fucking pussy. The same thing with the crossbow as well.
Well, have you ever rifle hunted yourself personally, or have you just had that theory of I'm going to be a snob dickhead bow hunter and where I'm going to be?
I'm not a snob dickhead. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy people are out.
I mean, that is the most pompous fucking bullshit I've ever heard come out of a bow hunter's mouth in my life.
Well, fuck off. I'm telling you.
I don't give a shit. Listen.
No.
Have you ever? I want to know. Have you ever been invited, carried a gun in the woods, and shot a fucking deer? Yeah or no?
No, because those two dickheads won't invite me up.
That's true.
Two dickheads. These guys over here?
Yeah, those two guys right there.
That way?
Yep.
Well,
Guys,
you don't
wait,
use guns.
They invited you.
Yeah, I did.
Let's go.
You
Don't
Don't get me wrong. I know how to use a gun. Don't get me wrong.
Don't add dyslexia to the multiple disabilities that you have.
But if you, like I'm saying though,
I get what you're saying, but
listen,
it's also
it's heritage. My family and I, we always listen. Bow hunting always came first, and yes, a bow hunting trophy in my eyes is 10 times better than any rifle trophy that you could put on the wall.
But meat in the freezer tastes just as good.
But here's the thing, okay? You can say all you want to say about it. When you go out and you actually try it and you shoot one and you don't get them, let me know how it feels. Or if you go out and you shoot one and you take it home and you cook it up for your family, let me know how that feels. Or you walk around with your friends and your family, because there's a lot of camaraderie during rifle season because generations have been passed down. Let me know how that feels for you.
Okay, let me. How about this? I'll take it back. I'll take this. Well, I'll take a certain part of this back. If you're out there using a gun and you're just out there solely get meat in the freezer, I won't say shit for you, because you might not be able to shoot a bow, or it's hard. You maybe just didn't get to it, and so I understand that point. But if you're using a gun to go after one of your mature deer, like if you're trophy hunting at that point with a gun, and you got to do it with a gun, then you're the pussy.
Well, why is that making you a pussy? Because we don't have control over when the seasons change. And yes, I could sit there with a bow and arrow and still hunt during rifle season. Now, that is something I've done. If I shoot one with the rifle, I say I didn't get one with the bow or whatever, or I want to fill a doe tag. Yeah, if the weather's convenient enough or whatever, and I'm not freezing my ass off trying to hold an aluminum bow in my hand, I'll go back out with the bow and arrow, because I like shooting deer with the bow. I think it's freaking great. But
okay, then I won't say pussy, but you're lazy then.
Well,
nah, because you're hunting. There's more pressure now on deer with all the gunfire going off. It's actually harder to hunt than it is for you mamby-pamby little bow hunters.
The bow though, because you have to get this deer with, let's just say, for
instance, I killed my fucking deer at 10 yards. 10 yards.
The average bow hunter, in my opinion, has to get a deer within 40 yards or less. It's hard to do that and to narrow that in to get on the right path and shit like that. Everything's got to go. All the stars have to align. But you can go out with a gun and you can shoot a deer 300 yards away.
You got to go until you go and experience it. Guys, right? Am I right? Until you carry a rifle in your hand,
where you can shoot 300 yards too.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But you got to go and do it before you can judge it. And before you can say this or say that, I want you to put a rifle in your hand, put the pancakes down, and get your ass out in the woods and shoot a deer with the rifle. And then tell me honestly your emotions and how you feel about it.
Don't get me wrong. I've shot deer and I missed, and I shot deer and I tracked him. I shot a deer last week and I shot him and we never fucking found him. You get the same feeling with a bow, but you do, in my opinion, though, if you're using a gun and you have the ability to shoot long distances, how you can miss, how you can not kill a deer right then and there, it baffles me. Because
it happens.
Don't get me wrong. I understand it's still hunting, still shit can go fucking wrong. Your gun can fuck up, you can misjam, but in my opinion, you have less things that could go wrong. You have less opportunities to miss, because you can sit there, take your time, and put everything right together.
But you have more stuff that goes wrong with rifle or gun hunting.
What's that?
Your scope, right? Say you're using down here where we are, 350 Legend, 450 Bushmaster, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're carrying your rifle out to the woods. All of a sudden, that scope goes off. You bump it on something, the scope goes off. Crosshairs are off. Your scope's no longer zeroed. You're gonna miss. Now you're walking out there, you see that deer at, like my cousin shot a deer opening day at 110 yards, right? 110 yards is a pretty decent shot as bow hunters. Yeah, as bow hunters, we're, like you said, within 40 yards, right? 40 yards is a good shot. That's a far shot.
Yeah.
110 yards, you're shooting. Now, say your scope is off at 3 inches at 100 yards. So now your shot group that was like that is now like that. So you can miss that way, right? Everything can happen. Say you don't have a steady. There's so many different. You have to proper cheek weld, steady position, your breathing. Everything has to be in place for rifle hunting, just as in with bow hunting. You only
you don't.
You do more damage if you miss a deer and don't hit a deer clean.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
do more damage with a bow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all that stuff that you said though, John, you can do that 2 weeks leading up to the season, and bam, you're ready to go. With a bow, you have to practice all that shit year round. If
you should you should practice both year round.
You should practice rifle too. Yeah.
If you're going to be using a bow, you have more things that could go wrong. So you have to make sure attention to detail. I say that all the time. Attention to detail. That's key. The slightest, in my opinion, you have more variables that could go wrong compared to using a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can think, in my opinion, you can think more quickly on your feet with a gun compared to with a bow.
But it's all set in the same perspective. So if you have a buck come out 30 yards, bow shot, you draw back like you said. Oh, I thought I had him at 25, but he's really at 28. You use all the same I forget the word I'm looking for here, but you're using all the same basics, right? You're for bow hunting, you got the same sight picture. You're practicing all the same things. You make sure that your bow is level, make sure that your sight's on, make sure that the proper cheek weld. Same with rifle. But now instead of 40 yards or 25, 28 yards, you thought he was at 25. Now you're like, oh, okay, well, he's at 75 when he's really at 110. So the distance is the only thing that varies. All the fundamentals are still the same. You have to have that proper cheek weld with the rifle, proper eyesight. How are you looking? How's your breathing? How's your trigger control? Exactly. Are you hammering that trigger back? Are you squeezing it? Are you pulling it? I mean, when I think
it goes more back on a history thing. If that's what, like Brett, he was never introduced to that.
See, I just look at Escanaba in the moonlight.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was huge in my family when we were kids.
Yeah.
Deer camp. We didn't deer camp during bow season. Mm-hmm. It was rifle season. All the uncles and everything in the family would all go over to my uncle's house, opening day of gun.
Yep.
You wake up, have big breakfast, pack up, get the fuck out, go kill something.
Dude, it was years before I even realized there was a bow season in Michigan.
Yeah.
I always knew there was a bow because I always hunted bow.
At least here in Michigan, it's weird. You get a lot of people that I work with. There's no hunters where that I work with right now. So like, oh, are you getting ready for opening day, November 15th? I'm like, no, I don't gun hunt. I've been hunting. And they're like,
open for 6 weeks now.
Yeah, I've been hunting for 6 weeks. I leave at like 1:00 in the afternoon for these 6 weeks in a row. And they're like, what have you been doing? Are you been poaching? You've been cheating? And I said, no, it's archery season. They're like, oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So let's play devil's advocate with this whole thing and this bow hunting snobism shit. All right.
Really fucking Squatch.
Yeah. So listen, have you recurved hunt and actually killed a deer with a stick and a string like I have? No.
No, I haven't.
All right. Have you walked up and stalked a deer, not sitting your fat lazy ass in a tree stand like I have? No? Okay, you're not a bow hunter. You're not a bow hunter. Until you do those two things, in my eyes, you're not a bow hunter. Second, if you haven't done any of those, there's guys out there that think compound bows is bullshit.
They think they're pussies.
They're pussies.
Oh,
so,
no, yeah.
So there's a devil's advocate with everything with saying that. It's easier to say it. When you go out and you shoot a bow with a stick and a string, or kill a deer with a stick and a string like I did with the recurve, whatever. People can say whatever the hell they want. I don't give a shit. I know what I did. When you got a compound bow in your hand, you're cheating. An Indian would look at you and go, the hell out of here. Okay. Now, and you have to stalk on the ground like the Indians did, and you have to get a deer with the bow. Okay. And I've done all that shit in my early life, done it, got it off. But when rifle season comes, I'm happy because the buck that's been cutting me off, staying out too far, lights out, motherfucker. It's done. And you know what? It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. And I like the different changes. And you know what? If you don't want to rifle hunt, get yourself a muzzle loader. Okay? Go out in the late season, freeze your balls off, holding a muzzle loader, waiting for a deer to come in, and tell me it's not a challenge.
But then this
fucking bow. So
I love muzzleloader.
You'd be so cold you couldn't even draw your bow back when it's in late season here.
Well, I've done it and I sucked it the fuck up and I shut the fuck up.
No way.
I
ain't buying it.
I'd rather say this. There's a huge difference from upstate New York winters from our winters here. That's me living in both places.
Well, their winters there are like the UP winters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Their winters up there is tough. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying the Michigan winters down here, there's in the past, not in the recent years, they sucked growing up. So I've done that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm a bow hunter. I'm an archery hunter. That's why I use up my compound. I think using a compound bow is still extremely challenging, but using a recurve, that's the true hunting with a bow. That's the true archery type hunter. I just bow hunter.
Spirit of the wild.
I don't call myself a bow hunter. A true bow hunter. Let me say this. I don't call myself a true bow hunter because a true bow hunter is going to use a fucking recurve. I just call myself a bow hunter because I use bow.
I got late.
Hey, Squatch, next year we got to kill one. We got to kill one next year with our recurves.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's gonna be my goal.
You know what? And I'd even offer to take it out now. I haven't practiced with it all year.
I haven't practiced with mine in probably.
And it sounds like an excuse.
I got to get a string for it.
No, mine's right up here on the counter. But like I said, I didn't take it out. I didn't shoot it. I haven't practiced with it. At 20 yards, I'd be okay with it, I think, right now. But that really, man, before I step in the woods, it's months of practice with that thing.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
It's months. It's a Super Mag 48, so it's great for the tree stand. It's short. You got a nice. It's 60-pound draw. But yeah, man. I mean, don't knock rifle season, man. Rifle season has its place and time. For here where I live now, there's so many houses starting to come around. I think they need to do something with a line, maybe a little bit further to the west and north. Leave that rifle. Put this all bow. I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be so happy if it was just bow season because you wouldn't have all these idiots running around with rifles in their hands and doing whatever.
Oh, you've got to hear it here, brother. It is.
It makes you sick. I mean, 4 or 5 shots, it's like, come on, man, what the hell?
Dude, that's 4 or 5 shots in 5 minutes here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to make a law here in Michigan. It's called the Quiet Week, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, the Quiet Week.
Or Quiet Time, whatever the fuck you want to call it. From October 9th or 10th, whatever, to November 14th, you can't be seen or be out there shooting your gun, getting ready for rifle season.
So the week before rifle season starts, it's against the law to be caught with a shotgun in your vehicle or even while you're out in the field with anything other than small game load.
Yes.
You can get a ticket for it.
Wow.
That's how.
Unless you're going to the sportsman's club or shooting range.
Exactly.
Yeah. And here, I'm still out there in the woods hearing gunshots go off. Bang, bang, bang. I'm like, yep, wait till the last fucking second, you lazy bitch.
Shit, Allegan County, man. October 1st, I'm in the woods hearing that.
Well, I hate. Besides
it's
hearing,
like the UP down there.
Mm-hmm.
People road hunt in the UP.
Oh, dude, I can take you to some nice road hunting spots.
They road hunt up here too. They road hunt.
30 tack of slits and rifles already out the windows of the trucks.
Oh my god,
they're a little more high tech here. They use crossbows.
Fuck. Can I say my point, please?
Spit it out, boys. Spit it out.
Besides hearing gunshots go up every second and squirrels while I'm out hunting, I hate hearing people run their leaf blower. I will.
Leaf blowers! Don't even get me started.
Leaf blower run for hours on at a time, and it just go. and then it dies off for like a second, and then it picks back up. I'm like, what the fuck up? I want silence. I'm already hearing enough from all the squirrels.
Yeah.
You go up north and all you hear is chainsaws.
Or yeah, I bet.
I'm hunting a golf course. I hear kids playing and screaming and
Probably
having
hear gay stuff all the time at a golf course.
Oh, dude.
Hey. Of golfing, okay? Don't. We've already talked about that shit once.
Oh,
Don't-
Biffy, did you see your ball? No, Todd. I think it's in the wood.
Oh my gosh, I see my balls way over here.
David, don't start with me. Don't start with me in golf.
He'll go balls deep.
Is that a platinum driver? Jesus Christ. I thought those were limited edition.
Oh my God, look at that shaft.
Yes. Wow, is that an alligator wrap you got on your handle?
I don't know what you were. I don't know where you were last night, but I got to go use the ball washer.
Is that a one handicap I see?
Yes. It's
Jesus
a par
Christ.
even. I'm actually seeing him out there with pink knickers and everything, dude.
I kid you not. I'll say this. I'll try and get the photo up for next show. I bet my dad one day from a friend at Golf League, it was like, whoever shoots the lowest score without their handicap, because I have one handicap, he has a 3 or 4.
We all know.
And no, at the time of the bet, I had a 2 handicap, he had a 5. And whoever had the lowest score without their handicap, using their handicap, they had to wear a dress on Friday Night League.
God.
I beat him by 4 strokes, and he had to wear a dress, and we took photos of it.
See, golf is so gay. What's with all these strokes and everything? Who are you stroking?
Yeah, strokes and dresses
How do you not understand?
and balls.
If you don't
like,
know golf
huh?
lingo, go fuck yourself.
I don't know golf lingo. I don't want to know it.
Yeah.
It's
How'd
that's
you
like
get such a big shaft on your head?
yeah.
Golf is my time to rewind and just unwind. That's the
On his
word.
handicap right there.
Yeah, that's my one handicap.
Yeah.
That's my time. I like to unwind.
Oh wait. I'm sorry. It's this one when he pulls in.
Yeah.
It's even got the big head. Look, he's got a big
Yeah.
head just like that. Bald.
The little neck.
Hey, does that say Brunswick parking?
Yeah, it should. It should. Yeah. Oh, here's the one. Here's the one when he's got to take a shit. He's in a rush.
Electric wheelchair.
For the people that are not watching, that's me holding up
Not
a
watching.
handicap symbol. All that funny shit.
You guys aren't funny.
We're retarded. It's okay.
It's 2024. You can't use that word. But even though it's
All right.
Trump,
I'm minimally exceptional. Is that better?
no, Trump's in office. You can use that word.
Mentally
Okay.
challenged.
In this household, I use the words gay and retarded.
Yeah, I
so
saw that. You posted it the other day.
if that offends you, go fuck yourself. I don't care.
Okay, the ghost is walking around my property. There's just no.
That's just a guy in a white coat.
No,
Yeah.
Oh,
what the hell that is?
Dave got it.
There's
I thought
nothing
my
to see
property was
here.
haunted when I was a kid.
What happened?
I thought my property was haunted when I was a kid out there.
It is.
Yeah, it
That's
probably
like,
is.
That's
Like,
because you were watching Pumpkinhead.
I
Wait,
still
did we say Pumpkinhead?
Yeah.
pumpkin.
You still got it, Johnny? Is it
I
rotten?
got it.
You still got it?
Every time I hear a crunch, though, it's dead silent. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then, oh my gosh, there's like this weird owl out there, and he sounds like a fucking devil out there. And he goes,
Screech owl.
yeah, it's so loud, and it freaks me the fuck out. And it like, I'll be out there like checking my cameras when it's dark out there, coming in from my hunt, and I'll hear that owl coming. I'm like, what the fuck? Pumpkinhead's coming. He's warning me. So I'm like,
Have
quickly
you,
trying to
have you
figure out
heard a
what
bobcat
is it.
screech in the woods?
Oh my gosh, I'm
Yeah.
making hair stand up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
that
heard
happened to
that.
a
You
kid
think
in
it's a
my
squatch. You think it's a squatch when you hear that.
Dude,
You know what I
that
heard the
loud, real loud, high pitched scream.
Yeah. I heard a fox getting attacked by a coyote the other morning in there.
Oh shit!
Dude, the woods I just heard all this crashing and I'm like, okay, it's a buck chasing a doe. Nope. Then I heard this. Ah! I'm like, what the hell? And it got quieter and quieter, but it was going across the property. And I'm like, oh, that's a freaking fox getting attacked by a coyote. And the only reason why I know, I got it on my Fox Pro, and I've like tried it. It's like, like when he's going out, man. And I'm like, holy shit.
Was that red fox you showed me pictures of?
Yeah, but I think
dude, he was beautiful.
I think he got attacked, because the next picture I had on my cell camera was a coyote, and I was like, yeah, he just got done tearing that freaking fox up. I guarantee you.
That sucks.
Yeah, there's hundreds of fox, man.
Too.
I'll shoot you a fox here as soon as I get off deer hunting.
We got grays, but I haven't seen a red one yet this year.
I'll shoot you just like I mailed you the hat. I'll put a fox card.
Yeah, see that? I'm representing.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hold on.
Mine's upstairs. I don't want to go get it.
Yeah, the black one?
I got both. He sent me both.
Yeah, I sent everybody both. Yeah.
They're so soft.
I know the inside.
They're warm.
Inside is like a baby's bottom with fur.
Yeah.
That's what I said, man. It's like this real soft Sharpa or something.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I wore it out in the woods today.
Yeah, it's warm, right?
Yeah.
Everyone go out to Squatch's shit.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
They are awesome. That's the inside of it. Yeah.
Go to Squatch's stuff and order yourself some hats, because those are amazing.
They're nice and warm, man. I
They
had
are
to get them.
very warm.
They are definitely not Walmart hats.
No, I had to get them. I was like, man, I'm getting them. That's why I was like, I asked you your colors first, what you want, and then I'm like, don't be a cheap ass, just send them both colors, you know. So I just sent you out both, so you got them both, or you want to give them to somebody, you can give them to somebody.
I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No worries.
Dude, I had to punch my 7-year-old daughter because she was trying to take the brown hat. Like, no, it's mine.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well,
live child abuse.
Dude, just to be fair, Squatch sent her out a hoodie last year.
Yeah.
And she's all about it.
Yeah.
And so she has this little pink hoodie of Outdoors and More with the Squatch.
Yeah.
And she saw the hat. She's like, can I have that? I'm like, nope, that is mine.
I looked for pink ones too. They didn't have them because I had you in mind for a pink one. And Brett. I had Brett in mind for a pink one.
Hey, I support. Hey, I do pink on my my
underwear.
What are they called? Veins.
Grinder.
No. I do pink and white on my my veins for the month of October for breast cancer awareness month.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good cause.
I do that.
I mean, that's cool if you only want to fight cancer 1 month out of the whole year, but whatever.
Well, my grandma died when I 6 months after I was born from breast cancer, so I always dedicated the month of October to her for hunting. So that's why I put pink veins on mine. And my last football season, I dedicated my season to her. So that's why
I do free breast examinations for any woman that wants me to check for anything.
Brett does that for prostates.
Mine's due next year.
I'll bring the lube
and massage your shoulders at the same time.
Thank God he's got small hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like the guy. He's like the guy in that freaking movie.
In your ass.
Hey, grab onto my little hand. It's strong.
Scary movie.
Was that Scary Movie 2 or 3 or something?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of it. It's strong.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, this has been one amazing show. I just want to say thank you guys for being part of the team. Thank you for being part of my family. With that being said, next week we have Andrew Fitzgerald on the show. So I'm excited to get him on again and talk to him. I think we got some shows coming up with some other people too, but I don't want to announce that. But for next week, we got Andrew coming on the show. I'm looking forward to that. Guys, with that being said, hope you have a good, pleasant rest of your night. I'll text you one word, I love Dick, and then I'm just going to leave it at B for 2 days, and I'll come back and I'll text it again.
The safe word.
My safe word, let's use
that's Brett's safe word. I love Dick. I love Dick.
Yeah.
All right,
just so you guys know, like, I mean, what time does the daily group chat start? Like between 4:30 and 5:30?
Yeah,
Usually.
It's already going off.
I don't want to brag, but it's usually Dave and I.
Oh, I
It
know.
is.
I know. On the weekends when I have the kids here, it's like, oh man, I'm waiting up at like 6:30. I'm like, holy shit. I'm scrolling through.
Me and Squats are already in the trees at like 5:30 talking.
He'll be like, yeah, I know you're out there, Squatch. And I send a picture of me in the dark, like you can just see my silhouette. I'm like, yeah, I'm out here. Don't worry, bro.
On Saturdays, I basically don't even have my phone. I'll sit there, wake up at 8:30, get ready to watch college game day, and the next thing I know, it's 11 o'clock midnight, and I look at my phone and like 3,000 text messages. And I'm like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
You
can't
missed out
go
on
back
a
and read
whole
through those.
Like a bunch of teenage kids.
Yeah. I hope you have a good rest of your night, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, you
All
guys
All right,
do.
man. Have a good one, brother.
Oh, man. Great group of guys like I said. Glad they're a part of the team. Glad I called them my brothers. That's going to conclude another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. I want to say thank you to everyone that's tuned in for tonight's show. I greatly appreciate it. I was trying to figure out what I was going to say. Anyways, I remember what I was going to say now. This show gave you some good insight, made you think, and made you laugh. I know it fucking made me laugh. Please give us a like, a share, hit the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we're trying to do our best, help spread the word about hunting and bringing what hunting really is about. And it's more about going out there and killing deer. It's about sharing memories and sharing time with our friends and family. That's what it's all mean about. It's connectivity. The audio version of our podcast gets released on Mondays and Wednesdays at 5 a.m. So make sure to check those out. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone on our next week's show. And put your quarter in the slot machine. That's all I got to say to that. See you guys. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.